Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had some stuff I needed to talk to him about, my son. Um, anyway, it's all good. Um, but yeah, I forget what we're talking about now. We were actually having a pretty good conversation, weren't we? I'm sorry. Um, but for instance, like I'm trying to give y'all ideas for your spring spells. Um, as I said, most of you have done your shadow work. Usually, or for me, wintertime is a good time to do that. And that shadow work, in all manners of speaking, you have to figure out, if you have to sit down and write a list of what uh, your goals are, what you want to bring in, what you want to leave out, um, get them sorted out, and then you're already halfway there. When the time comes to cast your spell. Um, I will say one thing in the process of I'll just put it to where maybe doing things that you don't necessarily want to do. Um, whether, like I said, it be in a relationship. Um, I think honestly, a lot of times, what it is, well, it could be two main reasons, and in my personal opinion, um, I seriously believe a lot of it has to do with the fact that you get so used to being with a certain person. They know everything about you, you know everything about them, depending on, how long this relationship has been going on. Um, it could be extremely hard to not have that person anymore. But you know what? My grandma had the best saying, because I'd be crying to her when I was younger, and me and my boyfriend broke up. We might have been dating for 2 weeks. You know how it is when you're teenagers. And to me, my world was ending. Of course. But to my grandmother, she was just beside herself anyway. She was just really neat. But I'd say, but grandma, or she'd tell me, quit whining about that man or that boy, uh, whatever she'd say. And I'd say, but grandma, I miss him. And she'd say, well, you'd miss a sore toe if it wasn't there anymore either. But do you want it back? That was my grandma. She was something else, and it's the truth. I mean, this is when you look back, and it's so much easier once you've removed yourself from the situation and you look back. That is when all the analytical thinking starts. You start analyzing the entire situation, and what do you end up doing? You end up going, "Whew, glad that's over." Or sometimes it's like me, I kick myself in the ass. It's like, why did you put up with that crap for that long? You know, why did you let yourself go through that? Well, and they're questions we all ask each other. Um, it's all about growth. It's about emotion. It's about feeling. Um, we that human side of us, damn it, that happens to have that love shit involved, and it gets annoying. But when we don't have it, we miss it, right? And that just boils down to that, mankind was not put here to be on the earth by themselves. That's why there was male and female created, not just to procreate, but to dwell together. And that's just the way it's supposed to be. But I honestly, like my great aunt, my Aunt Lenny, she was married for like 67 years and to the same man. And a lot of women back then, um, their marriages lasted longer. Um, and I'm not sure why that is. I honestly don't think that it was all devotion or loyalty. I think a lot of it had to do with a lot of these women honestly just did not know anything different. You get married at 13 or 14 years old like they did back then, and you've been with this person at this given point 30, 35 years. You don't have a skill. um, you probably never worked. Women back then didn't do a whole lot of working unless it was in a field. They're around the house or in the house. And believe you me, that was work. From the stories that my grandmother would tell me, that was, extremely hard labor at times. But as far as going out and making money, a lot of women, even back in those days, didn't have the opportunities that they do now. So that very well could have been a reason that uh, a lot of these women stayed with their men, because they really didn't have any other options. I'm not saying that's all of it. Some women, like especially as I said in my family, they were Christians and they believed once you got married, you stayed that way. And if you did get a divorce, you were not supposed to get remarried. Um, that's their belief system, whatever, so be it. But I think women nowadays, we know that hey, we can go out and get a job too. We can support ourselves. We don't need that. And you sure don't need the bullshit that goes along with it. When you have an abusive man or a cheating man or um, an alcoholic or a druggie, I mean, who wants that in their lives all the time? That's just constant negativity. Nothing good can come out of that. And you can fight it and fight it and fight it until one day you finally wake up and you say, wow, I wasted a lot of years. And that's what you've done because it didn't get you anywhere. And that person is still the same as the day they met you. So be selfish, you know? And so this springtime, usually us witches, we do not do a whole lot for ourselves. Our main concern is everyone around us and everything around us, taking care of that part of things. When in reality, you've got to take care of yourself first. And that means mentally also. I mean, when people say, well, take care of yourself, most people think don't smoke, don't drink, don't eat a whole lot of rare steaks and, blah, 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 exercise and do this and do that. Okay, but what about your mental health? If you don't have that, it ain't going to make a damn what you eat or drink. That mental health, I think, is as important, if not more so. If I had to make a choice, I would say it's more important. But it's just nice to have an even balance between the two. And you can go to self-help classes, you can do your meditations, you can do your spells. But as in anything else in witchcraft, if you do not put the work into it to make that happen, it's not going to happen. You can't just sit around and say, heck, I'll make my brain better. You know what she's going to tell you? Get up, do something, and make it better. I will help you, but you're going to make it better. You see what I mean? So once again, spring, anything is possible. Nothing is dormant anymore. Um, Things are coming back to life, and new things are rising and being born. You know, so why not give yourself that opportunity to be born also? Get rid of this crap that's dragging you down. Start thinking about yourself, because nobody else is going to do that for you. You have best friends, you have parents, and blah, blah, blah. We know that they love and care for you, but they cannot and will not live your life for you. So if people consider that being selfish, well, so be it. It is what it is. So for this spring equinox, do me a favor, all my witches, do something for yourself. Okay. I usually, I'll do my thankful, giving thanks to the goddess and for rebirth and the beauty, um, all the wonderful things that are happening. And then, I'll probably do something for myself to make myself, per se, a better witch, a better person. Um, one thing I can tell you, hi Carla, thank you. But one thing I can tell you is that there's just too much involved in life to sit around being depressed all the time, and take advantage of shadow work. Go in there and decide, okay, this is what's upsetting me, this is what I can or cannot do about it. What you can do. you know um, and now is even a more important time to do your clarification, to do your purifications, to take your ritual baths, to sit and talk to the goddess for hours if you want to. If it makes you feel better and you feel more connected, do that. You're not hurting anyone. That laundry can wait. Um, vacuuming can wait, because you are the most important person. And if you don't take care of this person, you cannot be an effective witch. What are you doing, Carla? Miss Lady? I haven't got to talk to you in a long time. Oh, sweetie, me too. That's why I did this video on spring and the equinox, because now everything's gonna come back to life, and the witches are gonna be out of shadow work, and everything's gonna be okay again. I'm sorry you've been down the dumps. Is there anything I can do to help you? Light a candle for you or something? Are you there? I guess my Carla went away for a minute. But yeah, we're supposed to be getting some rain, and oh, there she is. I haven't figured out how to even begin to do shadow work. Um, so do you not know how, or you just don't know where to start? It's really pretty simple. Where to start? Well, shadow work is usually what we think is within ourselves that we could change to make ourselves a better witch, a better person. And then you have your shadow work that you do around you. What you're doing is just dealing with issues. You're dealing with problems, and you're going to come to a conclusion on how to deal with them. Presuming a shadow is my yes, yeah. It's that little voice in your head whenever you say, "Oh, I want to go apply for that job," and you're all hopped up for it, and then that little inside voice is going, "You won't ever get that job." You know, you're not good enough for that job. It's the pissy side of you, pessimistic. That's how I remember it. It's pissy. So you have to learn to override that. I mean, and if somebody was actually thinking that, then I would simply tell them, they need to work on their self confidence. And granted, we're not going to succeed in everything we do. I have a pissy side. I do too, Missy. And it's been out a lot lately. But as I was saying, I think wintertime, especially for the witches, or pretty much anyone, this is why we have seasonal affective disorder. I think I said that right. Um, because people get extremely depressed at certain times of the year. And most of the time, it's during the winter months. I have it every year. Some years are worse than others. Um, just because I don't like being cooped up. I mean, I don't mind sitting in my house all the time, but when I decide or need or want to go outside or light my fire or whatever, and I want to be able to, you know, um, and I don't like cold. It makes me hurt. Uh, I'm anemic, plus I'm blood thinner, so I pretty much have no blood. Yeah, it is most people, Carla. You're not alone, sweetie. That's what I need to start, huh? I need to start a seasonal disorder group, affective disorder group. Yeah, I know it's necessary, and it's not that I hate it. I just don't get along with it very well. Now, used to when I was younger, and um, we'd take trips to go skiing or whatever. It never bothered me. But now, when you're older and you say your job's an hour away, and you got to worry about the roads and the snow and the ice and wearing 4 different layers of clothes and a jacket, and I don't know. They're the dark days, and they've always been known as the dark days, and that's why I made this video, because spring is around the corner. And so the witches and everything's going to start waking up. The flowers are going to start blooming, and the trees, and there's going to be new life on the earth, and everything's much prettier. Which, I like looking at pictures of snow, like cabins in the snow, and that you see, but it doesn't mean I want to be out in the middle of it. But it is a necessary part of, the seasons that we have to have it, or we'd be overrun with insects and disease. And mine too, Carla. And I love Halloween, but unfortunately it comes in the fall. So I'm usually in really good spirits around Halloween, and then I kind of just start going downhill from there. I just don't like cold, and I don't like looking at everything dead, you know. Even though I know it's going to come back, I don't guess I should necessarily even call it dead. I should call it dormant, you know, because it's not really dead, dead. I mean, my bamboo out here looks like just literally a bunch of reeds that, are just not good anymore. But I know that it'll be back in full force. It all goes to hell. Yeah, pretty much. And fall's not so bad. I mean, when the leaves, if you don't think so hard about it like I do, of course, I pretty much overanalyze everything. But instead of just sitting and enjoying the beauty of them, it's like, oh, look at all the pretty colors and all that good stuff, and smelling the first fireplaces and their wood that they're burning and stuff like that. Just kind of enjoying it. Not me. I have to be thinking, oh no, everything's fixed. Everything's dying now. I have to go all dark and morbid. And that's why I was saying, the first of this video, I'm trying to give ideas about an equinox spell, and giving thanks to Mother Earth for, returning plumage to us. But yeah, and I have also found, now I've always loved tornadoes. Tornadoes have always fascinated me. When they came out with that movie Twister, I swear, if I'd have become a meteorologist like I thought about, that movie would have been about me, except I was the one that got hurt by the tornado, not my family or not my dad. And ever since then, I've just been fascinated by them. And of course, I grew up in South Plains of Texas, and one might touch down there, and there's nothing to stop it. No water, no mountains, nothing. I mean, one could stay on the ground for hours. Yeah, I do too. That's my favorite movie, I think. In fact, I have it in there. I may watch it tonight. But yeah, I'm always studying tornadoes, and I've been known to chase them. So don't be surprised if you don't see a video up on here this spring. It really cost me, honestly. The only reason I haven't done it is because I don't use my phone uh, as far as data goes. I mean, I have plenty of data, but I just don't ever use it. Anything I need to do online or whatever, I do on my computer. And I can't very well take my computer in the car tornado hunting with me to show y'all or take pictures. So I'd have to do it on my phone. And I don't have one of them cameras like everybody else gets. So it's kind of hard for me to show y'all. And if I did that on my phone, I tried this one time. I took a picture of my altar the way I reset it up, and posted it to YouTube, and you wouldn't believe how much of my data, it used up all of my data. Did they make two twisters? No. Now there's Twister, the one with Helen Hunt and what's his name in it. And then there was a movie called Night of the Twisters that came out actually before that one. It was really good. It had I can't remember. I'm not good with actors and actresses. John Snyder was in it. He was the father in the show. I think it's John Snyder I'm thinking about. One of the Duke's boys, the blonde, Dukes of Hazzard. Isn't that John Snyder? I'm not good with all the actors and actresses. But yeah, it was really good too. It was called Night of the Twisters. And the movie Twister was actually about a little town not too far from me. Just a couple hours north of me. And then there was another one that I got called The Tempest, which in other worlds, they call. Yeah, I thought so. In other worlds, they'll call them tempests instead of twisters or tornadoes. And I didn't really care for it. Normally, you can't mess up a tornado movie with me, but I think it was just a bad acting. It was about some guy, and it kind of started out the same as the old Twister a little bit, but then he meets this gypsy chick, and she was a horrible actress. You could tell she really didn't speak that tongue. She was rolling her R's way too much, and it annoyed me. I finished watching it, but I wouldn't watch it again. But I'm telling y'all, this whenever I did a video early, I don't know, a couple of videos back. Hi, Lady Blind Wolf again. Whenever I did a video on depression here a while back, I may have done a couple of them because it is very important to recognize and deal with. And you know how we go through depression every year during certain stages. But can you imagine being like that all the time? You know, I swear it's all mind over matter. I mean, I can sit here and think up all bad things and everything bad that's happened in my life and moan and groan, beat myself up for mistakes I've made over and over and over again, which will never change anything. Or you can look at the good things or understand your own power, understand that you have the ability to do anything you want in your own life, on your own path. If somebody's not making you happy, get them out of your life. If they're a nuisance, get them out of your life. If there's nothing but trouble and negativity and a black fog floating around all the time, do something about it. And I know that's easier said than done, but once you get down to the point to where you finally say in your own heart and your own soul, I am fed up with this crap. I'm not taking it no more. Yes, a cord cutting spell would be awesome to do at this time. But in order to do that, a lot of people get depressed. They don't even know what they're depressed about. This is where your shadow work comes in. This is where you sit down by yourself and you deal with yourself, which is not an easy thing to do. Believe you me, I know. Yeah, Carla. Yeah, and that's the best way to do it. And I admit there's a lot of times when it's extremely hard to find anything positive in what's going on in your world, but you just have to look hard enough. And I strongly, I swear, I strongly recommend, they have all kinds of meditation videos. As I've always said, I'm not an excellent meditator, but I find, excuse me, I find that when I play these videos that have the music and someone else talking me through it, it is so much better than me just listening to some drum beat and trying to go in that by myself. I mean, some people are excellent at it. I'm not one of those people, even though I've been a witch forever. That is just meditation is not something I ever practiced a whole lot. But in my older age, I have all kinds of it on my computer now, and I'll take my computer and set it on my nightstand and turn it on when I'm fixing to go to sleep at night. And that just makes me, feel so much better. It really does. There's a chakra meditation one, but you use your hands order to realign it. Yeah, I've heard about that one, Lady Viola. And see, Carla, that's my problem. My mind won't shut up long enough for me to, because I'm thinking, okay, you're calm. Then, okay, the next thought instantly crosses my mind. It's like, look at all the stuff you got to do tomorrow. And you need to do this and you need to do that. And that's what I was saying. That's what I was just saying that I like listening to them guided meditations. It helps me a lot. And even if you don't, I mean, there's all kinds of witch music out there, as I call witch music, and that's what it's called on YouTube. You can download it, um, or just save it on your computer or your phone and listen to it. That's really relaxing. I mean, they've got thousands and thousands of them, but some of it's dark witch music, some of it's real light and airy, some of it's from a goddess, some of it's fairy music. Um, but I have found, that just sometimes laying there in your bed and closing your eyes and listen to that music, um, and trying not to think anything at all, it helps a lot too. So, I mean, whatever makes you feel better, because in the long run, you're the one that matters. So it don't hurt to try it. And like I said, I've been working on the meditating, and I have um, I have one that's my favorite. It's Hecate, of course, the meditation where I um, sounds like somebody's dragging something through my backyard. Anyway, I have a meditation that's from Hecate that she's down by the sea, and it's really neat to lay there and while this lady's talking, and you're actually picturing all this, going on, and you walking through to these areas and actually meeting and standing next to Hecate. It's really, I love it. It's probably my favorite one. Run makes me feel bad. Well, yeah, I bet it does, Carla. I just I don't hardly drink anymore. And when I do, it's usually blowing off steam. And I'm an old biker. I mean, I like riding the Harleys and going out and having a good time and getting a little crazy here and there, but I'm just too old for that anymore either. And you know what? I think that has a lot to do with some of my depression lately too. Maybe I just haven't realized it. Get the getting older thing, not being able to do the things you used to, or the aches and pains that bother you day in and day out. Now this weight gain, I just I don't drink much either, but when I do, oh, Carla, we would have so much fun together. We really would. But you're too far away. And so is Lady Blindwolf. And so is Aiden. And all my other witches. Actually, I think Aiden's closer to me than anyone. I mean, that I talk to on a, a regular. But yeah, whenever you do your spring cleaning, do like I said, do your chants. Or if you don't want to chant, turn on your witchy music the whole time you're cleaning. Keep that going. And then sage the hell out of your house. Make sure you do your purification baths and your cleansing baths and keep your sanity. Because as y'all all know, as witches, our power's in our mind. It comes out through our souls. So without that mind all fully intact and together, you cannot be a productive and effective witch. No matter how many candles you light, if your intent can't be there, then it's not going to happen. So that's probably what I'm going to do tonight. I'll probably go in there and take my shower and I don't know, just kind of like have a self-heal evening. I haven't done that in a very long time. I'll be in the house by, I'll have the house to myself, so for a little while anyway, and that's what I'll do. And crawl back to my altar and hope Hecate forgives me for not talking to her lately. I get in the tub, I can't get back out. Carla, get your old man to help you. I get any bigger, I won't be able to get back out either. He's okay. We've come to a mutual understanding. We're just gonna call it quits. I mean, we've tried and tried and tried, and it's just not gonna work. So, I mean, it's a mutual agreement, and actually, neither one of us are really sad or bothered by it. So that ought to say something. Need to get rid of crackhead spell. Are they still around you? Man, I swear they're everywhere. I can't go anywhere without, As far as I know, right on my street right here, I don't have any. I'm a little leery about behind me, and there's one house on this whole side that I live on that I would be concerned with. But yeah, I can't deal with the dope and shit. Yeah, Carla, hell, we've been together for 10 years. I mean, there's no sense in hating each other. We've just run our course. I wish the best for him. I don't wish any harm to him. I don't know. Or at least you don't have to deal with dumbasses that want to hex the fact. Yeah, bring that up, Aiden. You piss me off all over again. Yeah, that irritated me really bad. I just thought, well, first of all, I thought, how fucking ignorant can they be? Really? Go ahead and try that. And you better leave my moon alone, because then you have to deal with me. Now, I ain't an evil, witch, but I can be if need be. And the Fae will take care of themselves. Oh, Carla, how long ago was it, Aiden? It was several months back. These young witches, or think they're witches, decided that they're going to curse the moon and the Fae. First of all, the Fae will eat you alive. Second of all, who in the living hell thinks that they can curse the moon? There's not a witch alive, nor has ever been, nor ever will be, that can do that. And why would you even want to? The moon is our mother. That's where Hecate dwells, and Diana. Really? You think you can go up against them two major goddesses? You're asking for a lifelong shitstorm for that. That's rather dangerous. Hell yeah, it is. Girls down there, they got in a big old fire saying a guy was putting hands on her. Yeah, that'll happen too. See, I just can't deal with all that crap. And I hate that you have to. I mean, I'm too used to quiet, and I've had my rowdy days, don't get me wrong, but, you know, my health isn't all that great. I'm getting older, I'm getting slower, and I don't need the stress of it, you know. Calling the cops doesn't do any good. They don't do anything. So I yelled at the idiot for putting his hands on a girl. Yeah, you can't call him. She'd have to be the one to press charges on him, and she probably ain't going to do that. Needless to say, my daughter got involved in the baseball bat was brought out. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, to me, it's just another damn disease floating around. I mean, crack or crank, whatever they friggin' call it nowadays. Speed, methamphetamine is the worst growing pandemic we've got and have had for a very long time. I hate that drug. I've never done it, never will. Don't want to be around anybody that does it, much less deals it. They're the ones that go to the mall, buy the book, one-on-one spells and consults. Yeah. Yeah, Carla, but it's just not that easy to move. First of all, you got to have the money. Second of all, you got to have somebody help you move your shit. And Lady Blind Wolf, I mean, you might as well say blonde. I mean, she doesn't see well at all, so she would definitely have to have help moving. Let's not talk about 13-year-old kids performing blood magic and encouraged to do it by adults. See, no, I don't condone that crap. Now, I do blood magic, but it's my own blood I use, no one else's. I mean, and I sure as hell couldn't kill an animal to do it. I'm just not that way. I could not do it. Now, if you go down to a butcher shop, a lot of times these people, even people that practice vampirism, why? I don't know, but that's their thing. They pass the chalice around and drink the blood out of that cup in their rituals. And I'm sure that at one time that people used to do this with sacrifices, when they actually sacrificed a human back in the Mayan days and, a very long time ago. And they would drink their blood. Nowadays, coming from an animal, if the animal wasn't killed just for the blood, the rest of the animal's already in butcher and being processed, and the blood's just kind of a leftover commodity. But people doing stuff like that doesn't bother me quite, It doesn't bother me at all as far as how they obtain the blood. But when I can't even, I know in hoodoo and voodoo, and I love these women. I mean, believe it or not, uh, I was raised around a lot of voodoo women in my time, and in all honesty, they healed me from things that doctors said I would always have. And guess what? They are gone. I do not have them. I could go on and tell you, but the many maladies I had as a little girl, but I had a lady, a babysitter, African American lady, that I didn't even know what she was doing at the time, you know, um, but she did something that affected me. And I think she just really brought out the witch in me. Um, because from that day forward, it was like my eyes were open to things that nobody else could see. And that's exactly when my mama started thinking I was crazy. I'd be out there talking to trees and, you know, at 7 years old. So I have nothing against that, but I still can't watch them kill the chickens. I can't do it. I can't even do it. I couldn't even watch it when my great grandma used to do it to actually eat, to feed the family. I just can't watch them do it. I can't watch goats get slaughtered and cattle. I just cannot do it. Um, I'm the one that brought that up to you because I had talked about it in a video. Oh yeah, I would help her just to get her out of that situation. You talking about Lady Blind Wolf? I would too. I mean, I'm kind of in a bad predicament right now too, though. I mean, I'd more than love if she could move right in with me. I'm from in Oklahoma, though. We're moving to a different town, but we can't do that until our lease is up. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, not killing animals, using their own blood and magic. Put a kid in the mental hospital with all that crap. Yeah, because you know what? When they say blood magic, they don't mean that you have to slice your wrist open to where you require stitches. A simple pinprick will do it. Get them diabetic pins that you stick your finger with and just put some on a candle or a petition, whatever you're going to use it for. You don't have to bleed yourself, you know. Maybe she'd like Oklahoma. She might. She lives up in Indiana, though. I was staying in Jasper, Indiana for a while, and it was pretty nice there. I didn't get to see a whole lot. We stayed in this like little village type thing. It had a restaurant and a bar, everything we needed right there, like a motel. But the motel rooms were kind of, I don't know how to put it, like little bungalow type things. But yeah, I mean anywhere to get her out of that situation because she's been telling me about this stuff for what Lady Blind Wolf, about a year now. And she's been going through some shit with these druggies, man. Tell you what, that stuff is no good. It's pure poison in every manner. Poison in your body, poison in your life, poison in your attitude, everything. It's poison. And yeah, as far as these young girls doing all this crap and calling themselves witches, one day they're going to learn the hard way. Um, I just believe in that the goddesses will take care of them. And I also try not to get upset about it because I don't like people making fun of the craft. If you don't want to be in it, don't be in it. But you can keep your negativity and your crappy statements away from it, because the true witches are out there and they're hearing what you're saying. And there may be consequences of that. Now we're moving to a different time, trying to get to Florida because I can't tell which winners. Yeah, Florida would be nice. My best friend lives in Florida, but she's about to move to Georgia. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. What are you looking for? Dan, what are you looking for? Anyway. So, you turn this light back off over here. I look like I have this sign above my head. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, I know. That's what I was just talking about earlier. It was people that have the seasonal affective disorders, because I have it a little bit myself. I mean, I don't get, plumb completely out of sorts, but, well, I have some years, don't get me wrong. It's just not my season. Carla. I don't care. Yeah, he just woke up. He's up. So Carla says hello, and you better stop ignoring me, she said. I told him, Carla. The kid they were encouraging, apparently he was a cutter, so he will end up yeah. And see, that's just no good. That's not helping anyone. That's not a witch. That's a sadist. And those people right there is what gives the rest of us bad names, and that's what pisses me off. Just saying. Yeah, that's a one-way ticket to a mental hospital. You're damn right. And whoever the hell's encouraging them to do that, well, I hope they get their comeuppance. And see, and they probably went in there and told the doctor, well, we were doing witchcraft and blah, 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 just making the rest of the true witches look like shit. That is not what true witches do, people. God damn it. That is not what we do. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be like this forever. People are not going to understand, and they want to take on the name witch and, think it gives them, I don't know, some kind of attention, power, makes people look at them in a better way. I don't know why they do it. But, it's like anything else. People can say they're whatever. Their actions will tell you the truth. All you have to do is watch how they act. And that's with anything. Somebody says they're a Christian. Watch how they act. Are they a true Christian? Somebody says they're a witch. Watch what they do, how they act. Are they a true witch? Do they actually know what being a witch is really about? It's not about going and cutting yourself up. I assure you that. You'll have power and you'll gain attention from the gods and goddesses, and that's all you need, my Carla. And some of that they're trying to do, yeah, they get attention all right, but it's all negative. You know, the people that don't believe in witchcraft will just lock them up in a mental asylum, and then the ones that are witches or won't claim them either, so they're just kind of screwed. You know what I mean? Well, and you know, I don't understand what's going on with our kids nowadays. Honestly, Lady Mama, I don't know. They have no respect anymore. They don't know how to do anything for themselves. They don't know how to treat the opposite sex, whether it be male or female. They don't want to gain or earn anything on their own unless it's quick. You know, like, let's go sell these drugs. We'll get rich quick. What a way to live a life. I thought eating baby goats and drinking their blood was standard. For who? Aiden's just kidding, you guys. Y'all know him. He comes on here, I think, a lot of times just watching me get fired up. Actually, what is that? No, that's a calf. What do they call it? I forget what they call it. I don't eat it, so. Baby goats and drinking their blood was standard. Ugh. If I ever went to a mass, a witch's mass that was doing that, I would never go again. I'd walk out of there and not ever look back. Same Puritan law, the judge could override the parents and give a kid 10 lashes for every act of disobedience. Yeah, but do you really want somebody else spanking your child? I wouldn't. I mean, I get mad as hell at them, and I feel like knocking them out at times, but I don't want nobody else hitting them. If I had to raise a child now, I'd have them tied to a tree in the backyard. Yeah, and then they'd lock you up, Carla. That'd be child abuse in its finest right there. I'll tell you, it's and you know, and I know it's hard on the kids because the peer pressure is so fucking horrible. Exactly. Um, I just would not want to be a child in this era. But and the worst part of it is the children doing it to the children. And I mean, you can blame it on anything you want. You can say it's their home life, they're not being taught right, which could very easily be true. The parents are so screwed up. You know, they're probably alcoholics or drug addicts and don't care either way if the kid even goes to school, much less if they're bullying everybody there. You know, people just don't get in their kids' lives like they used to. You know, and both parents trying to struggle to work don't help either. Silence isn't golden, it's silver. That's the color of duct tape, right? Yep, that'd be the color of duct tape. Exactly. I would fail at parenthood nowadays. Well, um, I worry about my grandkids. You know, my oldest one has already had major issues, and he's not even 18 yet. He will be in August, and he's already had major problems. My other three so far You know, the two little girls and the other boy, they, um, so far things seems okay with them, but I still worry that, you know. There's your commercial, Carla. Yeah, send that into the advertising agencies. Of course, we would think it's funny. Everybody else would be, oh my God, and freak out about it because they can't take a joke. Have any of y'all been watching that new group that's out lately, Stand Against Witchcraft? I unsubscribed to them. I mean, I watched it at first because it was new, and I was just curious what it was all about, what they were doing, but it ended up just kind of being a fight between the witches and the Christians, so boring. It's just kind of a waste of my time. It just upsets me, so I'll watch it. I mean, I should just laugh at it. You know, I shouldn't even let it upset me, but the ignorance just astounds me. You didn't ever watch them? No, you're not missing anything. I mean, everybody has their own right, but it reminded me of why I'm so glad I'm not on that path. And I'm not saying anything at all bad about Jesus Christ or the Christian God. It's about the people that follow that path that I don't care for. Most of them. As most of y'all know, I told y'all that my grandmother was a very devout Christian, and I loved her to the moon and back. And yeah, she did try to, you know, keep me in church and stuff like that, but she wasn't overbearingly um, possessive and abusive about it. You know, she's just okay. And I respected what she did, you know. And I didn't ever bring up my witchcraft around her, nor I accidentally brought two books in there, and it wasn't even witchcraft books per se. They were the Time Life encyclopedia type things. There was two of them that got mailed to me to her address when I was living with her. And I brought them in and opened them and just left them laying on the coffee table. Wasn't even thinking nothing about it. And she seen them, and all hell broke loose. Get them books out of my house. It was a mess. Nothing against Christian organized religion is another story, though. Yeah, I mean, I always tell everyone, you believe how you want to believe, but don't sit there and just make an entire channel bashing witchcraft. What do you expect's going to happen? You know, what the hell do you think's going to happen? There's probably as many witches as there are Christians nowadays. I would almost guarantee it, if not more. And a lot of them are in the closet still because of this stuff. Because of family members or society or their jobs or whatever reason they're in the closet, and that's not fair to them. They have the right to believe and worship like anybody else, the way they want to. So, I mean, I think the main definition one of the main things when you define a witch is the freedom that we have involved in our craft. And if you're locked in a closet, that's not freedom. And if people cannot accept you for who you are, then they don't really love you. They don't care for you. You know, I'm sorry, but I've always felt that way. Do you think that witches now see, Carla, that is such a odd subject for me. I may have done a video on it. Um, I guess they can call themselves whatever they want. Um, they sound more like what we would always have called a white witch. Um, it depends on how you look at it. Like I said, they can call. I've often wondered that about myself. But there are a lot of them out there that call themselves Christian witches. I don't understand it. Um, it is a contradiction in terms. The very thought of it is just inane, if you ask me, because of what that Christian book says very specifically in words, in writing. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. It doesn't say except for a Christian witch. It says a witch. That argument could go on forever and ever. No, I don't think there's such a thing, but that's my opinion. You cannot put Christian and witch in the same sentence together and it make any sense to anybody that knows anything about religion, politics, the politics of religion, and to the older witches. And I mean, and these witches have their altars set up with statues of Jesus Christ, Mary, whoever, whatever saints they want on there. Um, they worship and practice the same way we do, but they use the Christian gods and goddesses, or the saints, which we would consider goddesses in our pantheons, and gods. I don't know. That's a question that I honestly have my opinion on. It's kind of baffling though, you know. Uh, I saw so much hypocrisy with the church. Yeah, me too. Yeah, yeah. I used to sit and listen to the ladies my grandma went to church with make fun of another lady's shoes. Really? Don't sound like Christians to me. And people are leaving the church because of the BS, and now Christians are having it shipped too. Then you get those ones that make up their fake testimonies and go to churches and tell stuff that isn't true. Or, yeah. Then the churches are like, we will need to make this public, and half of their so-called testimony isn't even true. I don't doubt that. Yeah, Carly, it kind of is for me too. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and judge them because I don't want to be judged. But it doesn't make any sense to me. You know, it just don't. I mean, I guess if you looked at it in a different way, without the actual Christian religion being part of it, um, because back in the day, like the Greek pantheon, that's what the early Greeks believed in their gods and goddesses, and they had books and meetings that we would nowadays call church. Um, Jesus Christ just happened to be a new one that came up, I guess. And that actually walked the earth. I don't know. That's a subject you could talk about and go on for ever and ever. I don't think there's necessarily freedom because you always have people criticizing you for your path. And that's fine, Lady Blonde. Let them criticize me. I don't care. I've been a witch my entire life. And I'm not going to start caring now. Like I said, the only person that I did not talk about it in front of or do anything in her house was my grandmother. And that's not because I didn't believe in my path. It was because I respected her in her home and that she didn't want it in there. It made her uncomfortable. So I didn't do it. And I never tried to explain it to her. She had been on that certain path her entire life and she was happy and content with it. So why bother to try to change her? I wouldn't even attempt to. Like saying you can't practice this path or that path because of your race. Yeah, I've heard people say that white people cannot practice voodoo or hoodoo. Wrong. As I was saying before, I had a lot of African American babysitters, a lot of really good friends that I played ball and ran track with, and I knew their families, and they would teach me things. They never once thought I wasn't good enough because of the color of my skin. Yeah, want to bet? Because when you think about the whole big picture, um, and this is what I don't like, and never will change. So why try? In witchcraft, everybody says, "Well, you can't practice this because you're not African American," or "You can't be in the Greek pantheon because you're not Greek." Or the Egyptian pantheon because you're not Egyptian. Crap. That's bull crap. Um, yes, you can. I've been in different things, mainly the Greek pantheon my entire life. Um, it just all depends on what you want to do, what you choose to be, which one fits you. You know what I'm saying? The gods and goddesses don't see color. And once again, to me, that is just once again trying to separate, divide the people up through religion. And witchcraft nowadays has become more like Christianity. I am so sorry to say that, but it's sickening how much it has become like the Christian religion. You have so many different branches. You have so many different things, just like so many, different forget what you call them now. Pantheon always stays in my head, but different denominations of Christians, but they're all considered Christians. And then you've got the witches. Well, I'm hoodoo, voodoo. I follow the Greek pantheon, and mine's the only one that's right. And we of all people should not be doing that. Fighting amongst each other about whose witchcraft is the best. Really? Has history not taught us a little better than that and that we should never be that way? It's human nature to think that the side you chose is the best. Um, I don't necessarily believe in what I call pantheon hopping. Um, if somebody wants to do that, that's fine. But I feel better getting to know a pantheon and sticking with it. I know exactly what colors and things every one of my goddesses and gods like, what prayers to send up to them, what sacred, I went blank. offerings that I want to give them. Um, and it's neat learning about the different cultures. And that's all they are, is cultures of witchcraft. A different way, a different form of worshiping and getting the same, or not worshiping, but doing the craft for the same result. Um, Not mind the criticism. I think I just get sick of people overcorrecting people that just want to share their spiritual life with friends. Yeah. Yeah, and you'll get that too, Aiden. This path, that's what I said in my first videos. The witchcraft path is not for everybody. Because you not only get criticized, that's why there's so many solitary witches. You know, they stay by themselves, they sit at their altars by themselves. Um, they just don't tend to want to be around anybody else, witch or not, as far as the way that they do their spells and go to their altar, you know. There's a lot of issues with the amount of Native American blood you have in you, and they're trying to get using sage stop for spiritual purposes. I've never heard of that one. Who the hell's trying to do that? Oh God, people just need to get a life. They need to worry about other things. You're not taking my sage away from me for shit unless it stops growing, and I doubt that's. And besides the fact I am Cherokee and Creek Indian. I think people take cultural appropriation to the extreme. It will always be. Yeah, I do too. And unfortunately, that is just something that people aren't ever going to change. But the thing is, those kind of people don't need to be call themselves witches. Now, and that's the only thing I am adamant about. If you're not open-minded enough to understand that there's many, many different ways of seeing things, and you have to be open to all that. I mean, if you can't think that the person sitting next to you just because they're white can't perform hoodoo or voodoo, then what in the hell makes you think? What gives you the impression or the hope that you can actually move things as far as doing a spell goes? It seemed to me that'd be the harder thing to believe, that you can actually get that spell out there, as opposed to believing that that person next to you can do the same thing. Does that make sense? You cannot be a witch and call yourself a true witch and be that closed-minded, because we are not. We were persecuted and ostracized and killed and everything else for our belief. And we sure don't need to be fighting amongst ourselves. Exactly, and they took it too far. I was gifted some tarot decks, and I was talking about them in a live stream and got my butt jumped for culture. Who jumped your butt? So let them. To me, that's just prejudice. It has nothing to do with anything. My grandmother's a Native American. Got in trouble for Native American cards. My aunt's brought me a Santa Muerte deck, and I got in trouble. Oh, okay. Good night, Carla. Blessed be, honey, if I ain't already missed her. But yet there's all this emphasis on how tarot cards are supposed to be gifted to you. You're not supposed to buy. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that 1 second. I have bought my own tarot cards my entire life. In fact, if people are going to think weird of it, it would be just the opposite if you ask me. somebody giving you a tarot deck, there's no telling what they put on that deck. You got to be careful what you accept in the witchcraft world. Some people may act like they're wanting to help you, and in reality, they're really wanting to harm you. I'd rather pick out my own deck and cleanse it and do all that to it myself. Hi, Godiva. Long time no see, chicka. Part of the hoodoo voodoo religion is Catholicism. They incorporated it into their religion to avoid detection and be able to practice one. Yeah, I know about that. That's how they hid their craft. Yeah. And they only picked Catholicism because that was the reigning religion at the time. And that's when the Catholic Church, was running rampant all over the world, killing everybody. Well, there are lots of different African traditions, including African diaspora, that has nothing to do with the Christian religion. It just depends. Right. And what it boils down to is let everybody do whatever they want. As long as you're not hurting anyone else, it doesn't matter what pantheon you follow or what color you are. I just don't believe that. Witchcraft does not see color. Our gods and goddesses do not sit there and go, well, this person's black, so they can't be in the Greek pantheon, or this person's white, so they can't practice hoodoo or voodoo. Not acceptable. I knew some great African American women that were very loving, and some of the greatest women I have ever known in my life. And they were so fun. And even though I wasn't their own, when I was in that house, I was treated like their own, different color and all. I mean, I ate the food she fixed, everything. And she would give me the best hugs, I just loved her. So criticizing people for hoodoo and voodoo is incorrect because they actually incorporated parts of a Caucasian in their practice. Yeah, it's just, I mean, the as old as witch as I am, I have dabbled in a lot of different stuff. And I use a little bit of everything in my craft. I truly do. I even have some Italian spells that I actually know how to speak. Which, would be important because yeah, they did, Aiden. I believe that a witch should be well-rounded and understand some knowledge of all. Exactly, and that's what I do. And I don't care who judges me or what they think about it. It's not their job to judge me. If they want to start throwing shit around, go for it. You're wasting your energy. It's not going to hurt me. And if you're petty enough to really think up a hard enough spell to throw at me just for practicing the way I do, you're pretty petty your own damn self. You know what I mean? You need to get a life. Well, what about powwow with the Pennsylvania Dutch? That's been in practice since the early 1700s, and they actually believe in hexing and cursing people. Well, yeah. And even the Christians believe in certain things. I mean, I grew up in an Assembly of God church, which is a branch of the Pentecostal holiness, or just Pentecostal, however you want to say it. And I grew up with people getting up, including my grandma standing right next to me, getting up and speaking in tongues, talking in a whole different language, and sitting back down. And then somebody else way over in the congregation and way down there somewhere in another pew would stand up and translate what she said. Yeah. And my grandma was not crazy. The healing part, uh, as I've said, I was healed from a lot of maladies when I was a little girl, you know. And in the Pentecostal, they'll put their hands on you and they do the same things. They practice the same way as witches do. They just won't admit it because they're going through Jesus Christ, and then that makes it okay. These other religions were around long before Jesus Christ walked the earth. I mean, I have some really good friends that I met through YouTube that practice. What is LP? Is that LPH? Am I just not getting something? Or IHP? What does that mean? Well, and I know hundreds of witches that do different practice differently too, and we don't get mad at each other and say, well, that's not how you do it. You're doing it wrong. We don't do that. We share ideas. It's like, oh, you do it this way, I do it this way. That's interesting. You learn things from each other. You are accepting of somebody else's craft. And that is exactly what witches are about. You're accepting. You can't judge another witch and then bitch at the Christians for judging you. Very rarely will you hear me get on here and say that was just flat ass dumb. Shit like cursing the fae and the moon. Yeah, that's pretty damn dumb. Some things I may shake my head at because I don't understand them. I don't understand the concept behind them or why anybody would even waste their time on it. To me, it's a waste of time, but to them, it's an idea, so go for it. But I'm a lot older witch. And some of these people are still finding their own way. They're carving their own paths. If they ask me a question, I'll tell them the way I think, and then they can go ask the next witch. That's how you learn. You get different opinions, and then you form your own out of those opinions. We're not supposed to judge each other for whatever. People want unity, but when it comes down to it, they really don't. One wants to overpower the other, whether it be religion, race, male, female, strong, weak, young, old, doesn't matter. I'm still not getting what you're saying. Oh, the left-hand path. Well, I couldn't tell if that was an I or an L. It looked just like your capital I. IHP, I'm thinking of computers. Yeah, the left-hand path, that's their thing too. They're a lot like us. They just have a different pantheon that they follow. I mean, they're witches too. They just follow a different pantheon. They follow different gods and goddesses. As well it should be. I mean, do as you will. Everybody has the right to think and believe the way they want. Unless you just get, way out there and just start being ignorant. Like cursing the fae and the moon. I don't think I'll ever get over that. And time witches had to do the same. Yeah. I thought I missed something. I was just about to type that, and then you said it. No witch in their right mind would curse or hex the moon in the face. No. We love the moon. Why would we do that? That's what right then first, right off the bat. Why, they're not witches. They are not witches, and they shouldn't call themselves witches. Our moon is our mother. She's beautiful and wonderful. And I felt the need to defend her that when I first heard that, but then I had to stop, take a step back myself and go, Tammy, really? Like they can attempt all they want, but like it's even going to happen. Don't worry about it. They're just dumbasses. I mean, not to be disrespectful, but those kids on TikTok argue about some of the stupidest things, right? And I don't watch TikTok. Like if you send me one of your videos that you put up there, I'll look at it. Or someone I know, if Aiden or anybody, the witches I talk to, happen to be on TikTok, then I would watch. But just specifically that video, because I already know that would have me in such a fucking uproar. I'd have to go in there and curse YouTube. I just know I don't need to be watching it. Or not curse YouTube, but make it to where their videos don't work when it comes to them type of people. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a newer generation. I'm an older witch, so a lot of things don't make sense to me. But a lot of things didn't make sense to the older witches than that I do and have worked for me for my whole life. But they were based on the way I was taught and by the older witches. It's not like I go out and just think up, well, you know what I'm trying to say. And I mean, there's people out there that think what we do is a total bunch of shit anyway. They don't believe in witchcraft. They don't believe in the gods and goddesses. They don't believe in anything. And especially that we can't put a spell on someone or curse someone or something like that. But we can. I don't make a practice of, just for the hell of it, fun of it, going out and putting hexes and curses on people. In fact, I can honestly say that there's very few that I have ever intentionally went and put on someone. Now, I have found that I have to watch the way I think. And if I dwell on something too long, if I think it just a split second too long, something's going to happen. And I have learned that the hard way. I could tell y'all a few stories, but just know that I've learned that the hard way. And I couldn't believe it. It's like I didn't cast that spell. I didn't. But whenever you become a pretty powerful witch, then your intention is in those words. When you speak them out loud, that shit may happen, whether, it's already out there and it's out of your control. And you don't realize that it's really happening until it's done. So that's why we say, be careful what you say, Yeah. Just light and airy, fun stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't go on there. It's just not something for me, I guess. Mostly telling it. Yeah. I just decided to start coming on here, not because I thought I knew everything, or I thought I'd start out with a few videos, because I was having a lot of people ask me about becoming a witch. So I thought I'd just put up a few videos on how to get started in it, and then they can take it from there if I give them the basics, Um, and it's mainly just to be around people like me and talk to people like me. To this day, I think it's funny that so many people think all I do is love and light stuff. Well, that may be all you portray to people, but to every light there's a dark. To everything there's an opposite. That's why a lot of people don't believe in gray witches. In reality, most of us are. If you look at and want to get technical about it, most of us are gray witches. I mean, really, if there's such a thing as black, white, and gray witch, and you have to stereotype yourself. Because there's not one of us that are always sending love and light, and there's not one of us that are always sending hate and negativity. There is that medium, which is known as the gray area. What people don't understand most of the time is the dark and light path. They call it the dark path because they may follow demonology. They may follow, as we call, the left-hand path. And if you listen, I mean, I know a lot of people that follow that path, and they're not evil people. People think that because they Lucifer and Hades and all the different things that the god of the underworld is called, because people follow him, that they're evil, nasty people, and that's just not true. Some people do things in the name of that path just because they're ignorant, just the way they do in our path. Doesn't mean that they're actually that path. They're just using that as an excuse to be ignorant and stupid. Some people are saying now that the term dark magic is racist. You know what? People just need to fucking quit. This is getting ridiculous. It really is. There's a dark and a light, and you'll never change that no matter what color you are. Okay? There's daytime, there's nighttime. One's black, one's white. One's dark, one's light. You're not ever going to change that. They call it dark magic, not because of the frigging color, dumbasses. Those people are saying that need to figure out what they're bitching about first. They call it dark because it's a darker side of magic. It's not the airy, oh, everybody love and light. It's the shadow self. It's the things that are bad that could happen. It doesn't necessarily mean anything as far as color. People need to grow up. They really do. I mean, enough's enough. I'm really tired of hearing about it all. They want to get that damn petty. because you can only practice dark magic when it's dark. Okay. Okay. Dark magic is nothing but the hexing, the cursing, maybe dealing with bad spirits, all that stuff. There's no color involved. It's just simply a word to describe it. But I mean, people can do whatever they want. They will anyway. Everybody's capable of doing not so good magic, or putting hexes on people, or whatever. People practice magic in the dark, and it's dark at night, and that's when people would do spells. And that was another reason for the term dark magic. Oh, I've never heard that. Never heard that in my life. Most witches practice magic at night because, for one, we are creatures of the night for whatever reason. We like nighttime. That could be because most of us are in love with the moon. It could be because that's when things are more hidden, more quiet. I'm sure there's every other good reason except for that. Whatever. It just really astounds me how, and I really try not to make fun of nobody, but some of this shit is just stupid. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, that's what I said. Our moon is most of our gods. Most every witch loves the moon, and it is silent. And you can think easier. You can cast spells better. Nature's even, more quiet at night. I like the feel of being covered in a blanket of darkness. I feel protected. I feel concealed. As a witch, I don't know. That's what I'm saying, though, that some of these people's ideas, I really try to understand them, and I really try to grasp my thought process around them, to no avail. Do certain spells at night. Nobody is awake to interrupt me or see me outside if I have to. Then go outside. Right. And there's spells performed at sunrise. There's an aspect of Hecate that people do their spells in the morning to her when the sun comes up, right as dawn's breaking. The Egyptians, the sun god Ra, they honored him and would do their stuff during the daytime too. I'm just more attracted to the moon. The sun is definitely needed. Without one, you couldn't have the other. We go back to dark and light again. Without the moon, there would be no sun, and vice versa. Everything works in harmony. And that's why I'm saying, I always believe in letting people practice the way they want. That's their business. Some things I will absolutely never agree with. It ain't going to happen. But I have to consider the source too, where it's coming from. You know, if it's just these crazy little girls out there that think they're somebody and want to go gothic, you know, pierce everything and wear their stupid boots and you know, have tattoos from their head to their ankles and go around killing animals and call themselves a witch. Pretty stupid. Sorry, but it is pretty stupid. Yeah. And I'm not even going to waste my time on them now. If they want to come at me with some shit, I'm sorry about their luck. First of all, they're not going to win. And it doesn't even matter. They'll bounce right off of me. You know what I mean? I don't even have time for that shit. It's like a little bitty fly trying to mess with an elephant. It's like, dude, you better find somebody else to pick on. Because this witch will zap your ass. You're going to find out what witchcraft is really, what it really can be if you don't stop. I don't know. I mean, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and I like to make all the friends I can and help everybody I can, but I'm pretty much a zero tolerance type gal. You know, once I'm fed up, I'm fed up. And you're probably not going to change my mind once I make up my mind. Making up my mind might be hard because I always struggle with what's right and what's wrong, and if that's the best thing to do, and if I'm being the best person at doing this, and if I'm leaving someone behind, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's a nonstop battle in my soul. And not when it comes to my craft. I'm very, very serious about my craft. And I don't mind answering people's questions as long as I know that they're being sincere about it and they're really curious and they're not making fun of the path. Like one time I had somebody literally email me and ask me, well, just to put it nicely, ask me how my twat felt after a long ride on my broom. I didn't know whether to get mad or just freaking laugh. I had to laugh. Yeah, and you should, Aiden. As long as you don't try, you know, don't go trying to hurt the moon or the fae. Not that they'd need our help, but they would be protected. I don't think I'm ever going to get over that. It's quite funny. After I got over being mad and I realized how stupid it was, I just decided not to be mad about it. But yeah, I think every witch has dark and light in them. It doesn't, um, some people think that because you follow the left-hand path, that makes you a dark witch. Well, that's not true. Really, until you see them actually practicing, there's not much difference in the people themselves that follow that path, and then from what we do. As I've gotten older, I've realized I do a little bit of chaos magic. I'm not even sure how that works, but it does, I guess. Yes. Yeah, there is chaos magic. I'll have to do a video on that. I haven't done one on that. I won't go into it now because it'll take too long. And as you get older, I'm telling you, your road will wind into different things, different areas, different prospects. It's a very interesting journey when you're on this path. And there's no telling what is in store for you on it. That's how come the older witches, we know this, I've been a witch, what I know, since I was 5, um, probably from birth. Actually, I think it was just born in my blood, but I remember at 5 knowing things that I shouldn't have known or even been thinking about at that age. Maybe I was, reincarnated. Maybe I was a witch in another life. Who knows? But I mean, as you get older, it just doesn't become a practice. It's actually a way of life. That's just what you do instantly, automatically, without thinking about it anymore. Just like, I teach when you're making your dinners, and you're using your herbs, put your intent in them. It's that simple. You can incorporate witchcraft in every move you make of every day if you wanted to. Yeah. And I do it now just out of habit. I mean, sometimes I don't even mean to cast, but I do and don't realize it till the consequences come about, whether they be good or bad. So I'm definitely at that stage where I have to really watch what I say and think and do for a very long period of time. I mean, when I started out in my 20s, I was Wiccan, and I came back to the path after a long time. I never would have seen myself in the path I'm in now. Yeah, that's true. It just goes to show that you never stop evolving. Right. And that's what I always say. You never stop learning. Not till the day your heart beats its last beat. You will never stop learning. I have to really watch what I say. I've had a few close calls that's really hurting me. Yeah, me too, Aiden. Um, and what's weird is, speaking of the Puritans, now I don't know if this stemmed from them actually thinking that witches were all around them, or I mean, they're the ones that believed whenever you sneezed that your soul left your body for a second and the devil could possess you. Yeah, possess your body. And therefore, the saying "bless you" after someone sneezed came about. Okay, now we know that's physically, scientifically, everything impossibly. It just ain't gonna happen. Your soul does not leave your body until death. So, well, now, I mean, I guess in astral travel, maybe. Do you know that's something I need to learn about? If y'all study that and help me study, that's something we can study. Is that your actual soul? Well, in order to answer this question, we'd have to define what the soul really is. Is it higher consciousness? Is it just something in our brain that makes us think that, we have one? When you astral project, what really goes? Are you dreaming? Is it a dream state? Or are you really out of your physical body into the other realm? I guess that would have everything and nothing to do with physics, wouldn't it? Huh. It's just really interesting. I mean, I think up some wild stuff, people. And then I have a medical background. So I'll take my witchcraft and the things that I've studied from other people, and then I'll get my medical books and I kind of look through them and kind of merge them together or see where they merge themselves together. Nick, I went to go buy cigarettes and they had a Santa Muerte statue in there, and I had to educate the cashier in Santa Muerte. Was it there because the people that own the shop wanted it there, or were they trying to sell it? I mean, they shouldn't have a statue of her in there if they don't know what she's about. I even know what she's about. I mean, I don't follow her, but and actually, if you want to study on that, you'd be surprised how much her and Hecate have in common. You'd really be surprised. But Santa Muerte is usually for the Latin American people. That's usually most of the time the people that you'll see that have her. Yeah, I believe that Satan was all around him and Satan works through people. Yeah. They killed a man for committing bestiality because he was bald and had one eye, and one of his piglets had one eye. To them, that was proof. See, it is, and you hear stories like that all the time about the way how ignorant these people were back then. Really? Did they not even stop to think that there's no way a human man can knock up a sow? I mean, they can do it, try all they want, but it's not going to happen. And now they not only executed him, but they executed the pig too. Oh man. From what I understand, there's a difference between astral projection and astral travel. Well, I mean, it depends on how you want to define that. To me, it's all the same. Projection, if you had to define them as a different thing, then I would say astral projection is, say, maybe when you float outside of your body and you're looking back down at yourself. Okay, you don't go anywhere. You just kind of hover around your own area, your own bedroom, or whatever. And then astral travel would be when, or you could say projection is when, say, you go into another person's dreams or into another person's house while they're sleeping. Anywhere on the plane that we call Middle Earth, it would be projection. You're projecting yourself out of your body into somewhere else, but you're still within this atmosphere. Okay. Astral travel would be when you project and you're up playing in the stars or the moon. When you're really out into the universe. You're no longer on this earth. I don't know. That's the best way I could describe it if I had to. They were selling it. I really hope I have some time to sit down and open my website and start my witchy business this year. Costs a lot of money and time. Yeah, I know. I make candles and do oils, and I've been working on trying to, just start little by little. Just getting little customers here and there, not really to make a lot of money doing it, just to make the money to be able to remake them. You see what I'm saying? because I enjoy doing it. Not because I wanted to get rich at it. She didn't understand why the statues were of different colors because they had that 7-color Santa Muerte in there for sale. And see, I don't know what that's about. Unless they're somehow putting the chakras into a statue. I don't know. I mean, that would make more sense because there's 7 chakras, 7, color in the statue. I haven't ever seen a Santa Muerte statue like that. To me, she usually looks like the Mother Mary. I don't know. I don't follow that path or that pantheon, so I'm really. I mean, I know a tiny bit about it, but not enough to even really say anything. Okay, have a good night. Be careful. You get what time you get off? Okay. Yeah, they I forgot what I was saying. Oh, at the first time that I astral traveled, I don't think I knew what I was doing. I did it by accident. I really did. And I thought it was just the neatest thing in the world. And I remember waking up thinking, I wonder if I can do that again. I always end up meeting too many things I don't know how to communicate with in the astral. Yeah, and two, when you're actually astral traveling, you need to be careful because there is all kinds of other stuff floating around up there. You need to make sure you still have your protection up. And a lot of people will use a cord. They'll use or a piece of string. Some people will tie tie a rope around their waist and then tie it to their bedpost or something to keep them somewhat grounded. So whenever they do meet something in the astral world, that it can't keep them. That you can return. I honestly haven't ever had a problem with it. There have been a few times that all I can say is when I woke up, I thought I really just had a nightmare. That things were reaching out and grabbing for me and blah blah blah. But I returned to my body just fine and woke up. Some people have even said that this is when some people may have heart attacks in their sleep and die because their soul or their self, whatever you want to call it, doesn't return to the body. I don't know. I know you need your protections up and you need to prepare for it. It's not something, that you can just. And yeah, it can be scary, even especially the first time you ever succeed in doing it. It's neat, but it's scary, you know. And I'll tell you another fun thing to do. If you can do this, and it's mind control, it's not easy to do, but any dream that you're having, okay, you can look around and automatically know that you're dreaming, right? A lot of times you can. And you can do some really fun stuff. Well, I'm just dreaming, so I'm going to do this, you know. until something startles you or whatever, and all of a sudden you wake up. But that's pretty fun to do, and I do that a lot. I'll be in a dream and just go, "Well, I'm just dreaming, so I think I'll hop over here and see so and so." But just knowing that you're dreaming is the hard part. Your mind, your brain is a powerful, beautiful thing. You can do so much with it. And there's so much of our brains that we have yet to figure out how to use. And I honestly believe that witches have figured this out a long time ago, how to use certain parts of our brain that most people don't use, which helps us put out our spells, which helps us astral travel and project. Um, you know, which causes us severe pain and anguish sometimes too. It's just like with our color magic, statues of different colors mean different things. Black protection, yeah. The 7 color statues are pretty much universal. Huh. Yeah, I'd never seen a 7 colored statue. Mine are bronze. And I don't even have that many in there. At one time, I wanted to get the whole Greek pantheon, but those suckers aren't cheap. I mean, because I get the real brass and stuff, so it don't turn all green and shit on me. I mean, so I can clean it if it turns green. Yeah, see, I've never seen a colored statue. I don't know. But, I know that they make the layered candles, the chakra candles that have all the colors in them. That's what I need to do. I need to, now that my house is quiet, get in there, washing my hair, and wash all the day's negativity and crap off of me, and go to my altar. I haven't even, I mean, I put a clove of garlic in there for her the other day, but other than that, I really haven't honestly paid her any attention, and I hate that. Because usually, I'll go in there at least, every day or even every other day and give her a flower if I have it, or some kind of offering or water or something. But here lately, there's been somebody else in that room, and I don't have the privacy in there that it requires to sit and talk to her. So I just haven't bothered with it. I mean, she knows what's going on. I don't have to explain anything to her. She's not mad at me. If she was, I'd know it. You're probably wondering, okay, the house is quiet now. Get off that computer and get in here and talk to me. But yeah, there's a lot of changes going on in my life right now, and I kind of freaked out and panicked a little bit at first, but now I should know by now just to go with the flow. There's someplace she wants me to be, or at some point she wants me to be at. So I might as well just go along with her. I sure ain't gonna fight it. I'm gonna lose if I try. But back to the depression thing, man, it's time to be happy. Life is too short, and everybody deserves to be happy. However, whatever that consists of. Um, Like I said at the beginning of this 2-hour video, oh my gosh, as bad as you hate to, sometimes you just have to get rid of the negative people in your life. And it's not that you're giving up on them. That's the problem I have with myself. Because I feel if I walk away, then I've given up on that person. And that's just not the case. It's not that I'm giving up on them. I'm tired of watching them give up on themselves. And I'm tired of fighting a losing battle. You know, all it does is make me miserable, and that's not fair to me. And I'm the important one in this picture. You see what I'm saying? Um, oh, where you can get pics? Okay. I mean, I don't ever go looking for statues like that anyway, so that's probably why I've never seen one like, colored like that. But yeah, I mean, it's springtime. It's time to get rid of the negativity, cleanse your home, clean from ceiling to floor, wipe all the cobwebs and dust out of your windowsills, and um, you know, just be happy, and I know that's hard because even with, like I said, with me, I'm a worry wart. I worry about everyone, everything, all the time, except for myself. You know, and therefore I'm the one going down the tubes, and everybody else around me is getting on with their lives, and I'm the one that's sitting here staring at walls, going, "What the hell? What happened?" You know, if they're giving up on themselves, you can't force them to care. Sometimes, yep, you're right, Aiden, and I'm about to start that. That's why if I don't get too damn sleepy and tired, it's what my game plan was for tonight. Once the house was quiet, everybody gone for a little while, I can go get my purification bath done. I can go to my altar and talk to my goddess, and um, then I planned on taking my computer in my room and putting on my um, meditation stuff and going to sleep. I mean, I may not accomplish all that. In fact, there's a big part of me that just wants to go to sleep right now. Um, but at least I'm thinking about it again. I can tell I'm starting to come back to life. Does that make sense? I'm starting to come out of my own hibernation, and because now I at least want to. I have the urge to want to do these things. So as long as I don't push myself, I'll be fine, And I go through this every year. Um, Sometimes it just takes longer. I just never know when it's going to last, how long it's going to last. But I know not to push myself, and if I don't get it done tonight, that's okay. I can still talk to Hecate, and I do all the time. I don't have to go in there and light every candle in my room, and go take a purification bath, and go through all the ritualistic stuff just to talk to her. I don't have to do that. It's fun. I enjoy doing it, and to me, it's respect to her, but she knows how I've been feeling, you know. And she also knows that I need to take care of myself. So she'd be the last one to be mad at me for just going in there and going to sleep, you know. So I'll go in there and put on my movie Twister. I don't know why I've been wanting to watch that all day. I told y'all I was in the spring mood. I really, really do wish I had some witches around me, though, to where we could sit and do spells together and um, just talk about witchy stuff, I mean, I love that I can come on here and talk to y'all, but it's a lot better to do in person, where your actual energy, you can feel it. Not that I can't feel y'all's energy, but it's just different in person. Then we're going to get some thunderstorms in a couple of days. So I think that's when I'm going to do my best magic. Yep. That is when I'm going to do my stuff. Just made up my mind. Wonderful time to do magic with thunder and lightning going. Because the universe is already stirred up, doing its thing. It's more active, it's more alive. Not that it's ever dead. That's not what I'm saying. For anybody else that watches this video, it's not what I'm saying. If they want to nitpick, I'm saying it is really showing its power, and I can't explain what it does to me. It's like I feel it in every inch of my body. Just like I'm the core of all that electricity. And as witches we are, there's been a lot of times when I'll go out dancing in the rain, and I get to thinking, wow, we are conductors. And if it's lightning real bad, I'm like, you need to get your ass back in the house where you get struck. Because we're conductors. That's where our magic comes from. We're conducting energy. So what is lightning drawn to? Other energy sources, and the poor trees. But I don't know. This is my favorite time of year, and I'm gonna start enjoying it. And I'm gonna work really hard on not allowing others that are in my life to dictate how my day goes. Um, Let it go in one ear and out the other, or just flat out ignore shit. I think sometimes I care too much, and that's what gets me in trouble. I don't give up. I'm like a pit bull. Once I latch on, I'm pretty much there till I decide to let go. And the goddess only knows when that may be. um, but when I know that I finally had enough, then I've had enough. And then there's no going back for me. Once I've made up my mind, I don't go backwards. It's just making up my mind that is the hardest point to get to. But I'm honestly tired of thinking about it and putting myself through all the stress when nobody else gives a damn. So why bother? Why put me through it? But I also can't change who I am and how I feel. And so what do? You wade through it. You weather the storm, put your protections up and go through it. Life is not perfect and easy, all the time for everyone, anytime. So it's just another storm I'm going through, and it'll be fine. But one goal I have, no matter what I look like, no matter how I feel, I am still going to come on here every night like I used to. That's my goal. I might miss a night here and there, but it won't be one of these once a month videos again. You know what I mean? I'll come on as many times a week as I can. Because y'all help me too. Just conversing with me helps me. It's not that I have to come on here and teach anything. I enjoy the discussions we have, and knowing that, hey, there's people out there that do care about me, um, and remind me of who I am. And sometimes people have to be reminded who they are, and then that way they can get back up on their feet. So I thank y'all very much. How'd you send them to me? Did you email them or did you send them to my Facebook page? Yep, there we go. Where'd you send them to, Lady Blind Wolf? Yeah, there's going to be snow above us in Kansas, but we're not going to get it. Okay, well, I love you guys, and thank you for being on here with me. I've been on here for almost 2.5 hours. Wow. Time flies. But I love you guys, and everything's going to be okay. It's springtime. Time for the witches to wake up. Do our thing. All right. Blessed be.